Welcome to the Everything Podcast. This episode, I'm going to be discussing the announcement of the 10th Doctor Adventures Season 4. I'm recording this episode on the 17th of March, 2026. This announcement was made yesterday as of time of recording, that being the 16th of March, 2026. This is probably the closest shortest gap between the announcement being made and me doing an episode about the announcement. I think the only other one is, but for a full episode, this definitely beats that record. I think there was a bit of Big Finish that kind of dropped like an hour before, but that kind of not a full episode. So yeah, let's read the press release for it, and then I'll go through, because the release date is a bit confusing, so I'm going to talk about that as well. So let's start off with the press release, which is titled David Tennant Returns as the 10th Doctor. As I said, it was announced on the 16th of March 2026. Alonzi, multi-award-winning actor David Tennant returns as the 10th incarnation of the Time Lord in 15 brand new full-cast audio episodes beginning next year. As the lead in Doctor Who from 2005 to 2010, David Tennant helped the series reach new heights of popularity. Tennant made a celebrated return to the role for 2013's 50th anniversary special, and a decade later became the 14th Doctor for the 60th anniversary. Now he's set to return as the 10th Doctor once more for another journey through time and space in 15 brand new hour-long full-cast audio adventures from Big Finish Productions. On returning to the TARDIS, David Tennant said, "Big Finish make it dangerously easy. You turn up, have a lovely time, and suddenly you've saved the universe again. The first 12 of these adventures are due to be released bi-monthly from summer 2027. The other 3 episodes comprise a brand new box set, release date to be confirmed, in which the 10th Doctor teams up with some of his other incarnations." More on both of those later in the episode. Nicholas Briggs, Big Finish's creative director, added, "We're always on the lookout for David to return. He is such a busy in-demand actor, sometimes it's just not possible for him to find the time to come to the studio. But we're always ready and waiting with new stories to tell, and now he's back and we're loving every minute of it. Get ready for a rollercoaster ride during these new adventures. They're fast, funny, scary audio dramas with surprises from the very first episode." No, that's it. Before I talk about it further, we actually have a trailer for the 10th Doctor Adventures as Season 4, which went alongside the announcement. So here is that trailer.
It's a funny old thing. Space. There's another. Stick 'em together, what have you got? Everywhere and every when. I can take this TARDIS of mine to any point in the whole history of any galaxy, any star, any planet. There used to be rules. Where you could go, what you could change. Now, not so much. But I've never been one for rules. Thing is, you start to realise just how massive infinity is when you can drop in on the flare of every supernova, the coronation of every queen, the bloom of every flower. The cosmos of space-time is brilliantly, mind-bogglingly huge. But it's also terrifying. Because as well as all the wonders, there's injustice, there's cruelty, there are monsters. You could get lost out there. I don't want to go alone.
That was the trailer for the 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4. Now, before I go through the very complicated release schedule for the 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4, I should probably explain how this announcement was made and why we all thought, all Big Finish listeners, including me, thought, hold on, what's going on here? Because Big Finish earlier that day had kind of promoted a 10th Doctor sale. Now, Big Finish have precedent for kind of doing sales for things and then announcing things later on, and we were like, oh, it could be something for the TV show or something. We didn't expect this, so it was kind of a little bit out of nowhere. I was actually at work yesterday, which I don't tend to be on a Monday, in my normal job at a supermarket, because if I'd been in a school yesterday, I would have seen it because I'd have left. But anyway, yeah, it was quite shocking, and I saw it. It didn't load for a while, so I was doing more of my work, and then I kind of read it properly, as I was on my way to my volunteering, I think, because I was obviously I couldn't read that whilst at work, but so it was really interesting. So now I'm going to talk about the release schedule for the 10th Doctor Adventure Series 4, which kind of goes away from the first 3 seasons of the 10th Doctor Adventures, those being 3 episodes long. So the 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4 will be longer than those 3 series, longer than Dalek Universe, which is kind of the closest things we've had to a longer series. That's at 9 episodes. So kind of it's kind of, and we've got the extra box set in addition to the 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4, with that being Out of Time 4, which will be a box set of what we assume is 3 episodes, the 10th Doctor with different incarnations. So in the first Out of Time, it was with Tom Baker's 4th Doctor, then it was with Peter Davison's 5th Doctor, then Colin Baker's 6th Doctor. So there's been all kind of theories about which Doctors it's going to be. Kind of one of the ones that seems to be most suggested is kind of the 13th Doctor, because David Tennant and Jodie Whittaker know each other very well, and kind of both gave each other and found out before the rest of the world did that each of them were playing a Doctor or returning to the role of the Doctor respectively. So now for the release dates. So the 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4 Episode 1 will release in August 2027. So of course that is like nearly a year and a half away. The Big Finish do have kind of a precedent for this, and who knows, maybe David Tennant's 10th Doctor might appear in something before. Then the 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4 Episode 2 releases in October 2027. The 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4 Episode 3 releases in December 2027. The 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4 Episode 4 releases in February 2028. The 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4 Episode 5 releases in April 2028. The 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4 Episode 6 releases in June 2028. The 10th Doctor Adventures Season 4 Episode 7 releases in August 2028. The 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4 Episode 8 releases in October 2028. The 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4 Episode 9 releases in December 2028. The 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4 Episode 10 releases in February 2029. The 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4 Episode 11 releases in April 2029. And the 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4 Episode 12 releases in June 2029. And we currently don't have a release date for Out of Time 4. However, before it was taken down, it did say November 2028. So was that announced too early, or is that not the case and they put it for the wrong release? Who knows? But what else is interesting is obviously currently in 2026 and the second half of 2025 and the first half of 2027, we have the ongoing 9th and 13th Doctor adventures kind of going in between, and it's kind of interesting to see that that's been brought up, because obviously by the time August 2027 rolls around, which is when the first episode of the 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4 will release, both of those ranges will have finished. Obviously the 9th Doctor Adventures currently on Season 4, the 13th Doctor Adventures on Series 1, but there was notice even in the very first episode of the 13th Doctor Adventures, that being Vampire Weekend, which released in July 2025, and that mentioned Series 1 specifically, whereas the 9th Doctor Adventures didn't. Could it be that? Could it be a different range completely? It's very up in the air about that, and kind of obviously the final 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4 being released in June 2029. That is over 3 years away. So we have got new series Doctors for a long time. Obviously, so 2027 we'll have audios for the 9th, 10th, 13th Doctors definitely. New series wise, I'm talking about here. Obviously, all the classic Doctors I assume will have more releases next year. I'm sure that some of them may have already been recorded. Obviously, no official announcement about that yet, but that will be coming. Tends to be around May. So when that is announced, I will obviously talk about it. But yeah, the 10th Adventures Series 4, that's June 2029. Like, that's 3.5 years away. And it's a year and a half until it starts, as I said before. But yeah, this was a really exciting announcement. Kind of the only rumblings we'd heard about. This kind of didn't leak at all. Big Finish tend to be really good at keeping things like they're very deliberate. But as I've talked about in previous episodes, Big Finish's marketing strategy will always... what's the word I'm looking for? Like, confuse me. There we go. Because... like this is being announced for 3 years in the future. We don't know what's happening next year yet with the classic Doctors. We don't know. We know that a second box set of the 11th Doctor Adventures has been recorded or is about to be recorded. No, it has been recorded. I think Nick Breeze confirmed it on an episode of the Big Finish podcast. Like, that wasn't. We didn't know that. We don't know what the future of the 12th Doctor Adventure is behind this first season, which releases in July and August this year, 2026. So it is kind of that, but it's fantastic. This prompted me this morning to continue listening and do a re-listen of the 10th Doctor Adventures so far, so that being the first 3 seasons, obviously Series 1 and 3 featuring Catherine Tate as Donna, Series 2 featuring Billie Piper as Rose, obviously Dalek Universe, the 10th Doctor travelling without a companion and meeting Joe Sims is the actor, isn't it? I can't remember which way round it is. Joe Sims is the actor playing Mark 7 and Jane Slavin as Anya Kingdom. We have a 10th Doctor River box set in there. I've recapped all of that on the podcast previously, so go and check that out if you haven't already. But yeah, I think I'm going to finish that episode there. Obviously, the 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4 has been announced. Obviously, by the time this episode, you listen or watch this episode, it will still be a year away, so it's not, but obviously slightly closer, so it is interesting. But let me know what you thought of the announcement of the 10th Doctor Adventures Series 4, and let me know if you're going to listen to it when it's released between August 2027 and June 2029 as well. If you're also excited for Out of Time 4, which, as I mentioned, we currently don't have a known release date for that. If Big Finish screwed up or not, let's find out. But without further ado, I will see you in a future episode of the podcast. See you then. Goodbye.